So I'm going to tell you 10 sure signs that you're emotionally burnt out. We'll explain why that happens, and then I will give you a simple, actionable tool to take the first step towards refilling your cup, towards getting back your mojo, getting back your energy, and keeping it. Okay, so first, are you emotionally burnt out? How would you know? Here are some signs you can look for. Probably the most common one is that you're easily frustrated. You have an incredibly short fuse. It's not just at your husband. You might find yourself snapping at the dog, at the grocery store clerk, at your kids, at your boss. It's like your patience has just kind of dried up, and instead you have all this frustration that slips out. Another common one when your partner is depressed is to feel exhausted the moment he walks in. So you might notice that you're doing okay. You're having a pretty good day. Maybe you're working on something. Maybe you're exercising. Your depressed partner walks into the room and it's like you sink. You just feel the energy drain out of you. You want to go to bed. Another sign of emotional burnout that you want to watch out for is that you're not seeing friends and family so often. This usually happens because you're just too tired and you don't feel like you have the energy to go and be happy and be social and be friendly because inside you are just feeling so overwhelmed and worn out. So you stop seeing your friends, you stop seeing your family, or you just see them less or are able to engage with them less when you're there. It feels heavy, the idea of going and socializing. On the same note, just talking can feel hard. When you're emotionally burnt out, you are drained, you are exhausted. Just having a conversation, especially a conversation that's not about your depressed partner and it's not about what you're going through, like a normal conversation with a friend or a coworker, can just feel so hard because you have to summon all of this energy to even be interested, to be able to engage on whatever level they're wanting to talk to you on. So not only is talking difficult, but working can become challenging. You can find that you're not getting much done at work, you can't focus, you're not productive, you're slipping. Whether you work for yourself or have a boss that you have to answer to, you find that you're just not getting things done the way that you used to. To make all of this worse, here you are already exhausted, you're probably having a hard time sleeping. When you're emotionally burned out, you are so drained and so tired, you really want to sleep, but there's so much happening in your head, there's so much anxiety, so much worry, so much frustration that it makes it really hard to sleep. And you might notice that you have a hard time falling asleep or a hard time staying asleep, and the sleep you do get just doesn't seem to be very restorative. Alternately, you might sleep for a really long time. You might sleep hours longer than you usually do and find yourself still tired when you get up, that sleep just wasn't restorative, it wasn't helpful. A lot of people get headaches along with emotional burnout. For me, they were always right here in the front of my brain. But for you, they could be somewhere else. But headaches are another common sign of emotional burnout. A feeling of hopelessness. This is a really common one when your partner's depressed. You, in the beginning, you're trying to help, you're trying to fix, you're doing all this research, you're learning, you're supporting, you're loving, you're strong. And over time, you drain yourself, you wear yourself thin, you start to just think that maybe there isn't anything you can do. Maybe he's not ever going to feel better. Maybe you're not ever going to feel better. Maybe this is just how it is, right? You lose hope. All of this, the not seeing the family, the not sleeping, the feeling hopeless, it all leaves you feeling really isolated and lonely. It's another very common sign of emotional burnout, that you just feel alone. And finally, I think another pretty powerful sign of emotional burnout in your relationship is feeling trapped. You're hopeless, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, but you don't see a way out. You love your partner, you want this life together, but you don't see how to make anything better. And you get feeling kind of like a caged animal, right? Everything's pressing in on you, you're stuck, you don't know where to go. And that can create this kind of panicky sensation and a lot of anxiety, but you're so tired that you really can't do much with it. So those are 10 signs that you're emotionally burnt out. If you're experiencing any of these, I would encourage you to watch the rest of this video and follow the steps that I give you here, because you don't have to be experiencing all 10 of these signs to be beginning this path of emotional burnout. Emotional burnout does not happen overnight. This is a process. It happens over time. And the sooner you're able to stop it and start reversing it, the easier it's going to be to get back to that place, or to the place for the first time perhaps, where you feel in control, where you feel energized, where you feel hopeful and optimistic. Before we get there though, we've got to talk about why this happens. Why are you emotionally burnt out when your partner is depressed? And this might seem like it's obvious, right? He's depressed, of course you're getting emotionally burned out. But it's important to understand what's really going on. The problem is that you are emotionally dependent on your partner. You are giving the power is kind of the wrong word, but you're asking your partner, you're letting your partner take responsibility for your emotions. If he's depressed, you have to feel anxious. If he's not working, you have to feel frustrated or worried. You are giving all of the power over how you feel away. And maybe it's not just to your partner. In fact, usually it's not. We have the thought that our partner makes us feel a certain way, but other things do too. My job stresses me out. The conversation with the IRS made me angry. My partner is making me anxious. Right? We have all of these things outside of ourselves that we blame for our emotions. When we do that, we are giving away all of our power. If we are at the mercy of the world, we are at the mercy of our partner's depression. We are not in control of how we feel. It's being driven by all of these circumstances outside of our control, so we are constantly on this roller coaster. It's got a few highs. There's days where we feel a little relief or happiness, but mostly it's lows and sinking lower and lower, right? It's fear, it's worry, it's anxiety, it's anger, it's shame, it's guilt. It's all of these emotions that are being caused by something outside of us. So we are emotionally dependent. We are not in control of our emotions. We are giving away our emotional responsibility to other people, to other circumstances, to everything outside of ourselves. And the thing is, it's not like you're doing this on purpose. It's not like you're just like throwing away your emotional power. It's not like you're like, no, I'm not taking responsibility for my emotions. You didn't make a conscious choice to do this. We have been taught since we were small children, most of us, that other people and outside circumstances cause our feelings. How many times were you told as a child, don't hurt his feelings, but go apologize for hurting her feelings? Oh, mommy, so-and-so hurt my feelings, right? This is such a common rhetoric in our culture. We are taught this by our parents, by our teachers, by society. Romantic comedies and movies. I love romantic comedies, don't get me wrong, but they set us up for this emotional dependency, that we are reliant on our partner for making us feel a certain way, and that he has the power to make us feel good or make us feel bad. So this is not your fault that you are not taking responsibility for your own emotions. You were never taught how, and you were taught to do the opposite. You were taught that others are responsible for your emotions. And the way to beat emotional burnout, the way to start feeling better now, is to take responsibility for your own emotions. Take that power back. If that sounds exhausting to you because you are emotionally burnt out and you have no energy, I have really good news for you. You already have that power. You never lost it. You just think that other people and other situations are responsible for your emotions. It's an illusion. Again, it's not your fault that you believe this illusion. It has been very well crafted throughout our society by all of the messaging from parents and teachers and movies. But it's an illusion. And that is why the first step towards beating emotional burnout, towards taking back your emotional power, is to start to see through the illusion. And I have a simple exercise that will help you do that. Okay, we're going to make a list. It's actually going to be 2 lists. So list number 1, I want you to list all of the times that you have been feeling bad and good things happened and you kept feeling bad. How many times were you in a rotten mood and you went to the grocery store and somebody was super nice to you and you just stayed in a rotten mood? How many times, is there a time that you were feeling really cranky and your partner did something nice and you snapped at them instead of appreciating it? I want you to make a list of all the times that something good happened and you kept feeling bad. Second, I want you to make a list of all of the times when you were feeling good and something bad happened and it didn't bother you. You kept feeling good. You know, maybe you're rocking out in your car, singing your favorite song, in a great mood, somebody cuts you off in traffic. Doesn't faze you. Keep feeling good. Maybe, I don't know why the car examples are coming up to me today, but maybe you got a flat tire, but you didn't care because you're super excited about this weekend, you got lots of time and everything's really chill. Whatever it is, a time that things were not going well, something bad happened, but you kept feeling happy. So that's it, 2 lists. When you were feeling bad and good things happened and you kept feeling bad. When you were feeling good and bad things happened and you kept feeling good. Make a list. How many times can you come up with? Can you start noticing this in your day-to-day life? Maybe you add to your list every day. What happened today? Did something bad happen and I kept feeling good? Something good happened and I kept feeling bad. It's all about noticing the times when your emotional experience isn't congruent with what's happening outside of you. And this might seem simple or silly, but it's such a powerful exercise to do, because if you do this over time and start to notice, it's not the other people, it's not the outside circumstance that's making you feel a certain way. So it's happening in here. It's where the wheels are spinning in your brain. So this is the first step to beating emotional burnout. Recognizing that you already have your own emotional power. You already are responsible for your own emotions. It's the first step to taking back your power, is knowing it's already there. And then you can learn over time how to choose the way you want to think and feel. But first, you have to really internalize, you have to really see that you do have that emotional power already. You already are responsible for your emotions. Give this exercise a try, and remember, be gentle with yourself. Just because you already have emotional responsibility doesn't mean that you know exactly how to change your emotions. It doesn't mean you should be able to feel a certain way at a certain time. This is something that comes with practice. There's a lot of techniques that you can use to build new neural pathways. If you'd like to know about those, keep watching this channel, and I will keep sharing new tools. And over time, together, we'll build a whole great toolkit for you to go in, get control of your thoughts and feelings, and change them so that you can choose how you want to think and feel on purpose. This is a process, and it involves undoing a lifetime of social conditioning and ingrained thought patterns. So be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, and be courageous enough to take the first step today, which is noticing that your emotions don't always match what's going on outside of you. All right, I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear from you in the comments, so please leave me a note, and I will see you tomorrow.